for them as much as they like. But they are panicking because they know what is currently being opened up is the previously unspeakable. The fact that the line of succession can be changed. The fact that people can lose their royal titles. All of these conventions that in the past, the British royal family wouldn't countenance because it raised too many questions about their authority.
Announcing the big winner at the NAACP Image Awards. Yeah, the one pre-recorded for tonight's BET broadcast. Now say what you want about Harry and Meghan making people roll their eyes, but this moment, it deserves a second look. Let's be real. If we don't talk about how deep the institutional gaslighting runs, we'll never be able to call it out for what it is. Nobody who's actually paying attention should be shocked about this award. It's going to people who've been straight up labeled Marxist, accused of trying to tear down the Constitution and wreck America, not just for cash, but to keep control and power. That's a serious charge, right? But it's exactly what people out there are saying loud and proud. And when it comes to names, trust, people remember. Take Cephai Noble, for example. She's been praised by Barack Obama himself and sits as an Aspen Institute commissioner right beside Prince Harry. Her reputation? Loud and unapologetic. Some even say she's a major race baiter who helped push some sketchy narratives alongside Christopher Boozy. And get this, Harry reportedly finds this bold woman inspiring. Can you believe that? Wild! And this is coming from the same guy who, back in 2020, called the First Amendment bonkers.
It allowed the Republican movement to make demands on them. All of that has gone out the window and has had to go out the window because of the terrible handling by this institution of the Andrew Mountbatten Windsor scandal. But that's why Harry and Meghan are worried.
Can you believe that? Talk about contradictions. These are the same people who act like they want to rip the Constitution to shreds just to rebuild it into their own version of what the modern world should look like. That's not just risky, it's straight up dangerous. Some are even saying these might be the most dangerous voices in our society right now. And that's not an exaggeration. It's not about how loud they talk. It's about how smooth they twist influence into power. And come on, the shade here is impossible to miss. This whole thing felt like a direct jab at Elon Musk. Before he took over Twitter, these same people couldn't care less about conservatives getting silenced. But now, suddenly it's all free speech this, free speech that. Please! That double standard is wild, and people see it for what it is. Classic institutional gaslighting, polished and perfected like fine art. The left has that playbook memorized. And now Harry, he's thrown himself right into the middle of it. He might be used to headlines, but this time, he kicked up a storm he can't just walk away from. And that's where my real issue lies with these two. I'm not brushing this off, not even a little. What's happening here doesn't look like simple celebrity chaos anymore. It's starting to look like a national security concern. That's exactly why, in my opinion, it's time for the US government to step in and take serious action before things get even messier. And for everyone saying, that'll never happen, oh, believe me, it's not about if, it's about when. I've got a strong feeling the wheels are already spinning behind the scenes. Things are falling into place step by step. Just watch. It's coming sooner than people think.
That's why I am told they live in fear about losing their titles, because remember, especially for Meghan, and you know the way she has brandished her Duchess, largesse. We know how she has even privately brandished her HRH behind the scenes.
But all right, let's switch gears for a sec and touch on something that looks lighter. Though trust me, it's still got some serious bite. So, I stumbled across this piece in Star magazine. Yeah, the same one Meghan Markle seems to always have nearby. But this time, the twist completely threw me off. It's not even about Meghan directly. It's pointing straight at Prince William. And that cover? Wow, it's dramatic to say the least. Meghan's front and center cross-eyed, clearly caught in a bad moment. That photo choice? Brutal. Now come on, if Meghan had really been the one feeding this story, do you honestly think she'd let that picture be splashed across the front page? No way! Common sense says absolutely not. The headline shouts, "It's over," on their 10-year anniversary. He moves to protect his $60 million fortune as she shields the kids inside their shattered Hollywood dream. And then, the moment that tore them apart. Whoa, that's explosive! Whatever's happening behind closed doors, it's messy, it's emotional, and it's way deeper than what's being shown to the public. When you hear the names Harry and Meghan, you instantly think drama, trust issues, betrayal. It's all there. And now, a brand new bombshell book is stirring the pot even more. It's throwing major shade on their whole version of events, shaking up everything the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have claimed so far. They're back under the spotlight again. Every move watched, every smile analyzed. The pressure's building, and it looks like they're standing right at a crossroads. It's wild how this saga just won't quit. It's like a never-ending soap opera that keeps rolling no matter how many people say they're done watching. Honestly, maybe there shouldn't be a next season, because seeing their faces in every single headline day after day is exhausting. Entertaining? Sure, but it's still total chaos. All right, now let's break it down. Royalty really does recognize royalty, right? Prince Harry and Meghan were flashing smiles at the NBA All-Star Game inside the brand new Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California on February 15th. They weren't alone either. Sitting right beside Grammy legend Queen Latifah, surrounded by Barack and Michelle Obama, Oscar nominee Tiana Taylor, and Destiny's Child icon Kelly Rowland. Talk about a power lineup. The vibe in the arena was electric, star-studded from every angle.
To win over the rich and powerful, to make money, it means so much to her, which is, of course, so embarrassing, given that the reason that she wanted to go was to live a normal life. But anyway, that's by the by. Because trust me, what is happening now and what is currently being tested in the waters is painting a blueprint for William the moment that he takes the throne. Yes, he wants his father to deal with this, but if his father doesn't deal with this, he goddamn will.
Cameras caught everything. Meghan was seen gently rubbing Harry's arm, giving him a little nudge to wave at the fans. A sweet moment for sure, but it totally had that performance energy. It looked picture perfect, like another one of their carefully crafted public outings. Ever since they ditched royal life in the UK and stepped into California's spotlight 6 years ago, they've been all about that us against the world image. And according to a source who spoke to Star, they make sure to keep that narrative alive every single time they step out in public. Every glance, every gesture, it's all part of the show. But behind those red carpet smiles and VIP seats, there's tension brewing. Big time. Royal expert Russell Myers is gearing up to drop a tell-all bomb titled William and Catherine, the Monarchy's New Era, The Inside Story, hitting shelves March 10th. And get this, the book reportedly calls out some of the biggest parts of Harry and Meghan's story. It dives deep into their fallout with the royal family and that icy feud with Prince William and Princess Catherine. This isn't just gossip, it's about to shake the palace walls again. Looks like royal drama isn't cooling off anytime soon. If anything, it's about to explode all over again. The book allegedly accuses Harry and Meghan of flat-out lying. And just when it seemed like their American dream was supposed to be golden, cracks are starting to show. Meghan's career stumbles are adding pressure, while Harry's sudden interest in reconnecting with the royal family, that's setting off major alarms. The combo's got everyone talking non-stop. One insider even spilled that the hits just keep on coming. And honestly, they're not wrong. Still, the Sussex's rep told Star that all these rumors about marriage problems are totally and utterly false. But let's be real. When there's that much smoke, people can't help but wonder what's really going on behind closed doors. And here's where things get juicy. I've got a theory about who's actually behind that explosive Star magazine cover story. My money's on Russell Myers himself, the same guy from the Mirror's royal team. Think about it. He's got that new book dropping March 10th. All about William and Catherine. It lines up perfectly. Honestly, just my opinion. But it's giving serious indirect communication vibes, the same kind Meghan allegedly used Omid Scobie for when she wanted to float her side of things. Wild connection, right? I honestly think Catherine and William might be using Russell Myers to quietly push their side of the story. It's subtle, but seriously strategic. And here's the twist that's got everyone's attention. It's rare for the Sussexes to comment when stories like this drop. Usually they stay totally silent, so the fact that their rep actually spoke up this time, calling the story utterly false, says a lot. That move alone screams they're not the ones who planted it. Big clue right there. Now, circling back to the book, it's crystal clear this one's written with a heavy pro-Prince and Princess of Wales angle. It's reopening old wounds that never really healed. Russell Myers' upcoming release reportedly refutes some of Harry and Meghan's most dramatic claims.
And the first people to go The first people to lose their titles, the first people to be removed from the line of succession will be his brother and his two children, Archie and Lily. And I think, according to Taz, made a really good point about this actually, and how in a modern,
especially from Harry's 2023 tell-all, Spare. Remember that part where he said Prince William allegedly got physical during a fight over Meghan's supposed mistreatment of palace staff? Yeah, that scene lit up headlines all over the world. That single claim reignited a firestorm, and this new book, it's about to dump even more fuel on it. Meghan has denied every bit of those bullying accusations, but according to what one insider told the author, Harry's version, especially the bit where he said William knocked him to the floor, was massively exaggerated. The insider didn't hold back, calling it nothing more than a cheap shot and admitting that, yeah, things got heated, but not like Harry made it sound. This next chapter of royal drama is about to get even messier. Words were definitely exchanged, no doubt about that. And yeah, people said things they later regretted. But according to sources, there was no actual physical fight, and William standing firm on that. That tiny detail says a lot. It pretty much confirms that a real argument did go down between Harry and William. All of it sparked by Meghan's alleged behavior. But here's the catch. Harry might have taken that argument and turned it into something way bigger, giving it that dramatic Hollywood-style twist. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Whenever Harry and Meghan tell their version of events, there's usually a tiny grain of truth buried under a whole lot of exaggeration. And now, Russell Meyer's book digs even deeper into how it all fell apart behind palace doors. Once Harry and Meghan made the call to step down from royal life back in 2020, Myers writes that Catherine didn't push as hard as William to convince them to stay. She apparently saw it coming. Deep down, she believed Harry leaving royal duties was inevitable. It was only a matter of time. For years, she'd been the calm one, the peacekeeper, always trying to hold things together between the brothers. But eventually, even she had to admit, some divides can't be fixed. According to Myers, Catherine saw the real issue plain and simple. It was the heir and the spare dynamic that shaped everything. Harry was done playing the backup role. He wanted more purpose, more spotlight, and more control over his own story. And once that desire kicked in, the royal bond between the brothers was never the same again. The royal system was never designed to give Harry the space or recognition he craved. That kind of pressure was bound to explode eventually, and it sure did. After everything blew up, especially once Harry and Meghan dropped those shocking 2021 claims about an unnamed royal being racist, Catherine reportedly decided she couldn't trust them anymore. From that moment on, she believed any future contact had to be handled very carefully. Even royal forgiveness has its limits, and right now Catherine and William are operating with maximum caution. But let's be real, it's not just about that explosive Oprah interview in 2021. That moment was the spark, but the fire started long before. Oprah didn't just sit down for a chat, she triggered a full-blown royal earthquake. Every headline since has been a reminder that this family rift runs deep. After all that's been said and done,
they have since gone on to use those titles for financial gain, and they have also tried to damage the very institution and family who gave them those titles. They lied for maximum damage and did it publicly for money. They will take any money they can get off anyone who's willing to give it. They are another Andrew and Fergie waiting to happen.
There's no way Catherine and William will ever fully trust Harry and Meghan again. This isn't just about hurt feelings or one awkward interview. It's personal now. Meghan publicly accused someone inside the royal circle of racism, but that was just one piece of a much bigger, messier puzzle. Over the years, there have been countless moments where it looked like Harry and Meghan were trying to undermine or embarrass William and Catherine, intentionally or not. So now, it's not even just about trust anymore. It's about protection. Insiders say Catherine and William are being extra careful, making sure Meghan stays far away from their private world, where they live, where they move, everything. And honestly, who can blame them after all that's gone down? The tension between them runs deep. Catherine and William were both seriously hurt by those accusations, especially the way Harry portrayed his own brother as being trapped in the royal system. That line stung hard. And for Catherine, things hit even closer to home when Meghan dragged a private moment into the public spotlight. You know, that infamous bridesmaid dress incident before the 2018 wedding. Meghan tried to flip the story, claiming she was the one who cried, not Kate, and that move completely rewrote the whole narrative people had believed for years. It came off cold, unnecessary, and made her look downright immature in front of millions watching around the world. And now, with all this new attention flooding back in, it's just another heavy hit for the Sussexes. Since walking away from royal life and settling into their $14.6 million mansion in Montecito, California, things haven't exactly gone as planned. They're raising their two kids, Archie and little Lilibet, and trying hard to craft a new image, but the drama just won't quit. Every time they try to move forward, something from the past crashes right back in and drags them down again. Despite all the talk about independence and breaking free, Harry and Meghan's success has been slipping fast. What started out as a glamorous fresh start in California is now looking more like a struggle to stay relevant. Their Netflix lifestyle series with Love, Meghan couldn't keep the buzz alive. After just 2 seasons of low ratings, it got axed before it could even make it to season 3. And those big plans Meghan had to expand her brand? Yeah, they've hit some serious roadblocks. The Hollywood fairy tale is starting to show some cracks and everyone's watching. And the hits just keep coming for Meghan. What was once supposed to be her big California comeback is now looking more like a Hollywood crash and burn. After her Netflix project with Love, Meghan got cut short. Insiders say her brand deals started slipping through her fingers one by one.
Because now it's no longer sacred. Now it's done and nobody really seemed to care. And so it makes it much easier to do again. And the rationality for stripping Harry and Meghan, not only of their titles, but places in the line of succession, is that they are rogue royals still constantly utilizing the titles to make money, to make, sometimes political statements and these sorts of things without being within the confines and respecting the family and their decisions.
The fashion collabs that once lined up at her door, suddenly quiet. The buzz that used to follow her every move, fading fast. Man, people in the industry are whispering that Meghan's been struggling to land serious projects because the drama factor is just too high. One Hollywood publicist even said that some studios see her as a risk, claiming her name draws attention, but not always the good kind. Ouch! That's not the headline she was chasing. Meanwhile, sources close to the couple say the pressure inside their $14.6 million Montecito mansion is reaching a breaking point. Meghan's frustrated, Harry's restless, and both are desperate to rewrite their story before it's too late. Remember when they promised a life of peace and privacy? Now it feels like they're caught in a never-ending PR storm they can't escape. And it's not just business that's taking a hit. Their public image is on shaky ground too. Polls show their popularity has dropped both in the US and the UK, with more people saying they've lost trust in the Sussex brand. That's a brutal blow for a couple that once had the world in their hands. Even friends in Hollywood are starting to distance themselves. Rumor has it some A-listers are keeping things polite but distant, not wanting to get dragged into the constant headlines. Meghan's trying hard to pivot. Word is she's eyeing new ventures in lifestyle and podcasting, but without strong backing, it's an uphill climb. The fairy tale shine is wearing off fast, and people are starting to wonder, can Meghan reinvent herself again, or has the spotlight finally turned cold? One thing's for sure, she's not going down quietly.
Yes, she did for a hot second, but she never really had the talent in the first place. And so it hasn't worked out really too well for them in the end. And so they need to do the thing, and perhaps Beatrice and Eugenie should do the same, of just giving up the titles and walking away with your dignity intact rather than having them stripped from you, and maybe even a court case where Harry and Meghan get dragged through the mud and Charles comes out on top. And that would be rather hilarious to see for sure.
While Meghan wrestles with her Hollywood image, Harry's caught in a storm of his own. And insiders say he's starting to feel the heat. Behind that calm smile, people close to him claim he's struggling with regret, isolation, and a growing sense that he might have traded too much for freedom. After all the interviews, documentaries, and tell-alls, it seems like the Duke of Sussex is finally asking himself, was it really worth it? Word from royal insiders says Harry's been quietly reaching out to a few old contacts in the UK, testing the waters for what could one day be a soft return. Some say he's even been in touch with a couple of trusted aides from his military days, trying to rebuild the connections he lost when he stepped away in 2020. He misses the structure, one source shared, and deep down, he misses his family too. But it's not that simple. William's still keeping his distance, and palace insiders claim King Charles has mixed feelings about letting Harry back in. especially after so many public blows. Apparently, there have been late-night calls and awkward video chats between father and son, but nothing solid yet. The wounds are still too raw. And then there's Meghan. According to whispers in Montecito, she's not thrilled about the idea of Harry cozying back up to the royal family. She's worked hard to carve out a new path for them in the States, and a royal reunion could make her look like she lost control of the narrative. That tension is reportedly creating major friction behind closed doors. Now people are wondering, will Harry actually make the move? Could he return to royal life, even part-time, without Meghan by his side? If that happens, it would be the most shocking royal twist yet. Whatever the outcome, one thing's clear. Harry's torn between two worlds, and whichever one he chooses next will change everything. And here we are. The royal drama that started with love and rebellion has spun into something no one saw coming. Harry and Meghan's fairy tale escape was supposed to be their freedom story, but now it's looking more like a high-stakes royal showdown that refuses to end. Between Hollywood struggles, family feuds, and the constant battle for public approval, it feels like every move they make adds another chapter to this never-ending saga. Insiders say the palace is quietly preparing for anything, from more media chaos to a possible reconciliation, but no one's betting on a happy ending just yet. The trust between the brothers is shattered, the distance between the couples feels permanent, and the royal family's image has taken hit after hit. Still, there's one thing both sides can agree on. This story isn't finished, not by a long shot. If Harry does try to make his way back into the royal fold, it could rewrite everything we thought we knew. But if Meghan continues to push her independence in California, that could set off a brand new wave of tension, and everyone's watching to see who makes the next move. The question hanging over it all, can love survive the pressure of fame, family, and power, or has the crown already won? One thing's for sure, this royal storm has changed everything. What began as a romance has turned into one of the most talked about family dramas in modern history, and no one's walking away untouched. Whether you see them as rebels, victims, or master strategists, the Sussex story will go down as one of the most dramatic sagas the world's ever seen. And that's a wrap, at least for now. But you know this story's far from over, so stay tuned because the next royal twist could drop any minute. If you've been following this wild ride, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment below. I want to know what you think about where this royal roller coaster is heading next.